Hey guys, Andy here. Welcome to another head-to-head. Should be quite interesting today. We've got two flagships going against each other. On the left we have the Huawei Mate 20 Pro, which has the high silicon Kirin 980 chipset, an octa-core CPU, a Mali G76 MP10 GPU and 6GB of RAM. On the right we have Sony's XZ3 or Xperia XZ3 with the Qualcomm Snapdragon 845 chipset. It's got an octa-core processor 2, it's got an Adreno 630 and 4GB of RAM. So on paper they're reasonably well matched. You might give the edge in the power to the Huawei, but if you've seen these tests before, you know it's not just all about the power. We're going to be testing other things like screen brightness, speaker, GPS and all that sort of thing. So let's get cracking with the fingerprint sensor test. So obviously the Mate 20 Pro has the front, in-screen fingerprint sensor, and the XZ3 is the standard on the back. It's a bit of a weird place on the back, a little bit low. Now I think the Mate 20 Pro is slightly quicker. I mean, we're talking almost milliseconds, but I think I do have to give that one to the Mate 20 Pro. So I've cleared all previous apps. We're going into the Angry Birds opening test, and as with the fingerprint sensor, the Mate 20 Pro sneaks through. It's not a massive difference, but the Mate 20 Pro is quicker. I'm going to clear app data, or previous app, sorry, start it up again just to double check. Yep, the Mate 20 Pro takes the Angry Birds 2 opening test. So we move on to another power-based test. It's the Geekbench 4 test. I'm going to start up the test, but it's quite slow, Geekbench 4 actually. So obviously I'm going to edit through, and we're going to jump to the very end. And we've got the Mate 20 Pro result coming in. That's actually the first time I've seen it score less than 10,000. It is a very powerful phone. And the XZ3, a little bit edit to cut some time out, 9,034. So both very good scores. Do we see much in the real world? Well, I guess that's what the Angry Bird opening test and the browser test later on is for. But the Mate 20 Pro wins the Geekbench test. Now we're outdoors checking GPS. I know for a fact the Huawei's has got very good GPS. Someone did explain the sort of technology behind it in one of my posts. Thank you very much. I forget what it was. So I'm going to try and clear both apps. Well, I've cleared GPS data, clear both apps. Start up again. They both lock very quick. I don't think you could separate them on the lock, but the Mate 20 Pro has a lot more satellites in view and slightly more accurate, so I am going to award the GPS test to the Mate 20 Pro, even though it's very close. We're going to come back in and test the speaker. I'm going to start off with a bit of Eminem to test the music.
Tell me where to go, tell me what to do, I'll be right there for you. Tell me where to go, tell me what to do, I'll be right there for you. Tell me what to say, no matter if it's true. Tell me what to say, no matter if it's true.
I'm startish, but if this is all there is for me, like offers, white bother even trying to put up a fight. Chopping quiet parts that I find in the garbage. A frame can put tires on and headphones on. But I think a light bulb just lit up in my conscience. What about them rhymes I've been jotting in their hands? Kids try and startish, but if this is all there is.
There's not a huge amount between them. The volumes are very similar. Oh, we're going to move on to the spoken voice to see if we can separate them on a podcast.
Essentially gave organizations like GCHQ and the NSA a free rein to go do mass surveillance. It also essentially gave organizations like GCHQ and the NSA a free rein to go do mass surveillance. It also overturned a lot of the rules and laws, and now we're in the situation where people are clamoring for the
fact that Google and other social network providers, and search engine providers are being overwhelmed. Quite frankly.
That is a very tough one. I would possibly give the edge to the Mate 20 Pro, but I think actually I have to call it a tie. There's just not enough between the two on the speaker test. So we're going to the screen brightness test. First thing to do, turn off adaptive brightness. Second thing to do, crank it up to full. Third thing to do, load up my white screen. Then we'll get out my light sensor and we'll see how the two match up. The Mate 20 Pro with a respectable, there was a 668 in there, 681, but clearly the Xperia with a much brighter screen scoring up in the 900s, where the Mate 20 Pro is in the 600s. So a fairly easy win for the Xperia XZ3 for the screen brightness. We move on to the Chrome browser test. I'm going to clear data on both devices. We're going to go to androidandy.uk first of all. Not a huge amount, but I think the XZ3 did win that one. We're going on to NFL.com. Oh, wow, I mean that's almost like synchronized loading. I mean the Mate 20 Pro maybe edges through near the end, and we'll finish with BBC, and again synchronized. Oh, that's tough as well. So you could argue from that first load we'd give that to the XZ3, the browser test. I think either way, two very, very good phones. The brute force of the brute sort of power of the Mate 20 Pro perhaps is what gets it its victory in this head-to-head. Let me know your thoughts though in the comments down below. But for now, my name's Andy, and I'll catch you all again soon. Well done, and thank you for making it to the end of the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, you might want to click the little fellow that should hopefully appear about here to subscribe. You may also want to check out some of my other videos, which are going to appear somewhere there. Also, come and have a look at my website, androidandy.uk. There is also a forum. Come and say hello on the forum if you've got any questions about things, or request me to review things, or anything else. Just come and have a chat on the forum.